I'm on a trip round Britain in search of the things that make this country unique. I'm looking for the mummers and the shin kickers and the bridie makers and all the fantastic people who are keeping our traditions alive. So, better get on with it. In today's show, seashells sing from the seashore. Like Rice Krispies?
Yeah, that's the cockles knocking against each other.
Is it?
Yeah.
I carve love hearts into a love spoon. I think I've got a kind of wonky sort of love. And from the kitchen in my caravan, I tried to do justice to some of the finest ingredients from South Wales. Today, I'm in South Wales. Think rugby players in red flashing across the field. Think male voice choirs. Think Richard Burton's deep tones. Think Dylan Thomas's sparkling verse. Ooh, it's enough to make you go weak at the knees. Let's have a look. South Wales stretches for around 300 miles from Pembrokeshire in the west, featuring Britain's only coastal national park, to the border with England at the Severn Estuary in the east. Around 2 million people live here, more than half the population of Wales. And it's an area of contrasts. Think of South Wales and you think of coal mines, iron and steel works, oil refineries, and then you also think of the valleys and coastline and rugby and singing, of course. Lots and lots of singing. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. And of course, where there's a seaside, there's a seashore with seashells. Mmm, food. My first destination is the south coast, near Swansea, right by the Gower Peninsula to be exact. Mud, mud, glorious mud. There's plenty of it down here on the Burry Inlet, just off Carmarthen Bay, and it's full of the most delicious Welsh delicacy, cockles. They've been picking cockles on the sands here since Roman times. The wide expanse of muddy sandbanks, exposed as the tide goes out, provide acres of easy pickings for the cockle-pickers. Until recently, it was mainly women who did this job. They'd harvest the cockles with a donkey and cart. These days, 4 legs are now 4 wheels. And, so the cockling can continue for many more generations, today's cocklers can only collect a limited amount. And for this, they need a licence. Di Turner is a 4th generation cockle picker and has been coming down to these sands since he was 7 years old. He's here today with his mates Neil and Richie.
All right, Dave.
Hi, you Di?
Yes, pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
Very good.
Sir?
This is Neil.
Neil, how do you do? Nice to meet you. What have we got out there? Is that the Gower Peninsula over there?
It is indeed, yes.
Yeah, this is a huge kind of empty bay. There seems to be no water.
Well, this is actually called the Burry Inlet.
All right, okay.
This is where we do a lot of most of the cockle picking here.
All right.
To you when.
Well, should we get out there? See if we
Yes,
can find some?
yeah, okay, no problem.
All right. Shall I get on here?
Yeah, do you want to jump on the back?
Sure.
Are you all right, Dave?
I'm all right, yeah. Oh, this is a life. When the tide goes out in Burry Inlet, it really goes out a very long way. Di and his team drive more than 2 miles to find their perfect cockle spot. So I saw you looking out the window as we were pulling up there.
Yes.
So what are you looking for?
Well, where these shells are now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cockles have grown here now and pushed out the shells out of the sand, so it's a
Right.
good sign that There's a nice patch of cockles here. See 'em? These are good signs here. Most of these banks here.
So they're in there like that?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're looking for, is it?
Because we're allowed 250 kilos a day,
Yeah.
we're trying to look for one bank that you think you're going to get them all out of.
Right.
Rather than
So
having
you don't
a-
have to go chasing around the whole
Yes.
bay. Your family's been doing it for years and years, haven't they?
Oh, my family been doing donkeys years ago.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But yeah, my grandfather, his sons, everything,
Yeah.
all my uncles.
Well, it's heavy manual work, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you're doing this the way the cockles are now at the moment for about 3.5 hours a day.
It looks pretty ancient. I mean,
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's one of the best methods. You know, the cockles don't get so much stress and everything when you're picking them as they do when you get dredged cockles. You know.
do cockles get stressed?
Oh yes, yeah.
What happens to them when they're stressed? How do you know?
Oh well.
Do they get a headache?
They,
They do what?
they start shouting.
They do? Get off me! Oh, ow! Well, who'd have thought it? Cockles have feelings. Well, that's enough standing around chatting about the psychology of shellfish. It's time to get my hands dirty, so to speak. I don't want to get caught this far out with the tide coming back in. I feel like I'm just digging up mud.
Yeah, you know.
You're down too deep. You're down too deep.
Am I?
Just surf, that's it.
So they're only in the first...
First inch.
Hey.
Yeah, you're doing a fine job.
See, I've got too much mud there, haven't I? Yeah, mostly mud. I can feel that. Surely we'd get the job done quicker if they gave me a hand. I mean, what about my stress levels? Am I on piecework?
Another 20 years, the wage will be right.
Yeah.
Minimum wage.
Well, I've got some there, look.
Yeah. All right, just give them a swill now in
Drop
the water.
them in the water there now.
All right.
And just
And then you chuck them in the bucket.
Yeah. Marvellous.
All right, excellent.
Exhausted. Getting the cockles out of the sand is one thing. Getting them into a bucket is another. That's like scoring a goal, isn't it? So you dropped some?
leave them for the birds.
Yeah. There we are, see if we can do any better. Only 9 out of 10 for style. As we continue picking the cockles, I can't help noticing a sound coming from the sand. A pitter-patter sound, like rain. Hang on. Shh. Like Rice Krispies.
Yeah. That's the cockles knocking against each other.
Is it?
Yeah. Singing, is what we call singing. During the winter, they're pretty dormant. Become March, April, when the weather starts to warm up in the water, you start to hear that noise, and that's when the meats start to move again.
Yeah.
And that's what we call this singing.
Is there anything in Wales that doesn't sing? That is fantastic. I can hear it really loud.
Yeah.
The noise is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Can be a lot louder, and like I said, the denser the cockles, you got thousands upon thousands upon thousands, well, millions of them in some areas, just clunk, 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 clunk.
I just find it bizarre to think that cockles move at all. You
Well,
think
they do.
they're just a thing in a shell. How can they
Yeah.
possibly move?
Oh, you'd be
But
surprised.
I've seen a couple just off camera squirt water
Yeah.
out, so they obviously,
That's feeding, and they
Yeah.
spit the excess water out now to start again.
yeah.
They filter feeders, so they filter the water through. They're taking out the food and spitting
Yeah.
out well. Probably similar to a whale that just plows through the water.
Tiny little whales
Tiny little whales, yeah. The
in
crab-
Wales.
In Wales, yeah. We do it other ways, but they spit it out.
While we've been doing hard labour, back at base, a pan of boiling purified cockles is singing a very different tune. It's time for me to shell seashells on the seashore. These are delicious, I have to say. I was thinking they'd need a bit of vinegar or something, but I mean, they've got a lot of flavour, haven't they?
Nice.
Do you think they've got a better flavour here than anywhere else?
They're renowned for around the world. That's why
Yeah.
I say 90% of what is picked is exported to Holland, France, Spain.
Yeah.
The Spaniards just cannot get enough of them.
Not particularly tasty. I mean, they're really kind of meaty.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have little cockles and there's nothing to them apart from the kind of texture of them. But these have got a really succulent kind of taste. That's the last of them. I think we better go before I eat the whole beach. It's been fascinating.
Okay.
Thanks very much, guys.
No problem.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers, Ed.
Yeah, look, there's 1 or 2 left here.
Ah, look at that.
A lasting memory.
Delicious. Yeah. All bunch in a bit. Pretend you like each other.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
That'll do. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one.
That's a good one to die at.
Oh no, it's developing now. Oh, you look awful. Oh, never mind. It's coming out true to life. What a shame.
Yeah.
That was just phenomenal. Hearing those cockles singing was just extraordinary. I wasn't expecting that at all. It's astonishing. I'm very glad I've heard that. Flipping tasty too, tell you. This coastal route has the most spectacular views. It's almost impossible to keep your eyes on the road. My next destination is inland, but not before a flying visit to Swansea. For a traditional and unique flavour of South Wales that's been eaten here for centuries. Now, this is laverbread. It's not lava and it's not bread. So I don't know why it's called that. Yes, I do. It's called lava because that's the Welsh for seaweed. And bread is just the name for the kind of configuration of it, because what they do with it is they strip it off the rocks and they boil it down into this kind of, well, it looks a bit like spinach really. It's very high in vitamins A, B and C, and also has a lot of iodine, which also olives have. The lava bread's boiled for 6 hours before it can be eaten. When it's picked in winter, the seaweed is black. In summer, it's green. It tastes like a sort of a cross between an olive tapenade, you know, when they crush up olives and make it into a paste, and spinach. Richard Burton called it the Welshman's caviar. It's kind of how you'd imagine seaweed to taste. But it's just really nice seaweed. I mean, we eat kind of bits of seaweed all the time, don't we? Bits like sandfire and things like that. And they've been eating it since the 17th century. No, I thought it was going to be a bit yucky, but I quite like it. Coming up, an ancient Welsh tradition designed by men to catch a woman's heart.
Too hot.
And with my caravan in tow, my cooking skills will be put to the test. I'm travelling around Britain with my caravan in tow, finding traditional food producers and historic customs. Today, I'm in South Wales. It's amazing looking across there to here we are in a rather pretty kind of seaside resort. Now there's a huge industry in Port Talbot. Very industrial nation, Wales. So far,
Oh, this is alive.
I've seen shellfish on the march. I just find it bizarre to think that cockles move at all. You think they're just a thing in a shell, how can they possibly move? And now I'm off to try my hand at spooning, the romantic kind. I love you. Those 3 little words have been used by lovers all over the world. But around here, they simply don't cut the mustard. In days gone by, you were expected to carve a love spoon for your intended. And if she, or more importantly her dad, wasn't sufficiently impressed by the intricacy of the carving, you'd be out of it. We'd better investigate. Love spoons are unique to Wales and date back nearly 400 years to a time when the diamond engagement ring was a thing of the future. If a man wanted a woman, he would carve a spoon from just one piece of wood, decorate it with a variety of love symbols, and then present it to his potential bride. The more intricate the carving, the more the boy loved the girl. Diamond engagement rings have rather done away with this quaint Welsh custom, but John Bishop is keeping this tradition alive and kicking in his workshop near Cardiff. No bell. Hi there, you John? Yeah, I'm Ed. How'd you do?
All right.
Cheers, thanks. These are your spoons.
Yeah, there's some of them, yeah. It's my first one.
Is that the first one you ever made? Aged?
But 12.
Oh,
that's
cute,
made
isn't
from
it?
like, do you remember the old orange boxes that you used to
Yeah.
get from the grocers?
Yeah.
That's the side of an orange box and mostly done with a penknife, I'm afraid.
You just made that at home?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a cracking effort, isn't it?
well,
It's good that you still got it.
yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
might mean that
My mother treasured
Well, it might
it.
mean you never had a girlfriend.
No, I had a few, don't worry.
That's why you got so many spoons.
This one is one I made for my wife
yeah.
some years ago now. You've got different meanings, obviously. The balls in the cage represent the number of children. So
Yeah.
3 children.
Have you got 3 children?
Yes.
Oh, she got it right.
Yeah, I did it after.
The symbols represent different things. A lock for fidelity, keys for devotion, and a wheel was proof a young man was going to work to provide for his wife. And 2 spoons were all about togetherness. Balls indicate the number of children the couple might have.
That happened in the old days when
Yeah.
the girls used to receive them with like half a dozen balls. They would reject that. As Celtic weave.
Yeah.
So what you're saying here is eternal love. The Celtic weave means eternal love.
Yeah.
The 2 hearts entwined is each other's love returned. The link then for love and loyalty. And this one has got like 4 hearts on the top.
Oh, yeah.
And the heart-shaped spoon as well.
And it's all made out of one piece of wood.
Yeah. That's
Do you
holly.
ever, do you ever get to this bit and it breaks? And
Ooh, well, then you
Let's
end
have
up
a
with it.
mouthful
Then
of
you end up with it.
expletives.
Yeah, you end up with the bottom half, and yeah, it does happen.
Because I mean,
yeah.
you can't suddenly repair it, can you?
No.
It's,
But being holly, it is quite pliable,
right.
and you've got the heart-shaped bowl then for a full and bountiful life.
Yeah. So, I think I've got the hang of this Welsh courting procedure now. Boy likes girl, boy carves spoon, boy offers spoon to girl accepts spoon, bingo! Wedding bells.
On her acceptance of that, then you were betrothed to be married,
Yeah.
much like an engagement ring.
So
was
if she
given
took
today.
if she took the spoon, that was it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But there were some pretty girls in the old days, and perhaps could end up with about half a dozen from different admirers, so she could take her pick.
This is what I've been waiting for. I really want to make a love spoon. I've picked my design. We're using wood from a lime tree, and I've got a girl in mind too.
Okay, and you can just lead out if you want to at that point.
Yeah.
Watch your fingers. That's it. Okay.
Oh, it's like a jigsaw now, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
quite nice.
Yeah.
So I've got my spoon.
Yeah.
Feels like we're going a bit the wrong way.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah. Okay.
Just the one?
Yeah, just the one. It's fine. Brilliant. And now we'll go on the scroll saw.
Look, Mum, I made a hole. Most of my carpentry so far has been done with the bread knife.
Yeah. Your wife will be proud then. Very good. Yes.
I think I've got a kind of wonky sort of love.
Yes, but we can. There's ways and means of sanding that at a later stage.
You don't like my little jabbing motion, do you?
Well,
I could feel you flinch. Look, I've made a
Yeah,
gouge.
we need to go back down that way now. It's all right, it's all
I've
right.
made a gouge.
You may. I tell you what, eh? Your wife's going to be proud of you.
Is she?
Yeah, or when she gets this spoon, she's
Finally.
Gonna, well,
It's going to go that
just,
far.
just
Yeah, no,
when you
I've
go
al-
down to
I
about
know
there,
I've already
okay?
gone too
All
far that way. I know.
It's not, no.
I've made a pig's ear of it. I know.
You're doing very well, I must be honest, considering you're,
A novice.
well, according to you, you are, yeah.
My tongue's sticking out. It is, isn't it? Don't know if I'm doing something intricate.
Don't we all do that?
Airfix models.
That's good.
Look at that. It's already quite round.
Yeah, excellent. Nearly there, eh?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I don't know if I'm going to get it much finer than that.
No, you've done a good
Without
job, a grand
several
job. Fair play.
1,000 hours of work.
No, that's, that looks fine to me. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
It's been fascinating.
Yeah.
I shall take that home to the wife and see if she still likes me. Good. I'll try and get everything in shot. Hold them up a bit more. Doesn't look stupid. Oh, that's good. Oh, that is good. Couple of lovers out there on the sand. It's probably giving her its spoon. Coming up next, please catch something. I take to the high seas to prove my fishing skills. What a fantastic machine. I get to taste a Welsh delicacy that has recently fallen out of favour. Feel like Sweeney Todd. And I'll be cooking up a traditional dish from the back of my caravan. I'm journeying around Britain, tracking down traditions and customs. Today, I'm in South Wales. I've collected cockles
Oh, I've got some there, look.
and learned about love spoons.
Oh, yeah, when you go down to about
I know
there.
I've made a pig's ear of it, I know. Now, though, I'm going back down to the coast to try my hand at a very old pastime that's been practised in South Wales for hundreds of years. You know, the South Wales coastline is excessively beautiful. They've got some gorgeous beaches, but you can't eat the view, can you? Luckily, the sea's full of fish. They've got cod, they've got pollock, they've even got conger eel. But at this time of year, it's mackerel. Let's see if we can get some. In the past, the seas off the coast of South Wales were full of mackerel. There were days when fleets of fishermen reported catching more than 1 million fish in one trip. There were so many mackerel, they swam in shoals up to 3 miles long. These days, the industry has dwindled because of overfishing, causing the mackerel to die out. So much so that nowadays, they're pretty much only caught by sports fishermen. They take trips to sea on chartered boats, like those run by Swansea's longest-serving skipper, Alan Jackson. He uses a rod and line to catch the fish, and then supplies what he catches to local people. Hi, Alan.
Yes, sir.
How do you do, mate?
How are you?
Nice to meet you, man.
Permission to come aboard,
Hi,
sir.
thank you, sir. No whistles.
No whistles, not today.
There are more than 70 types of fish swimming around the shores of South Wales, from the anglerfish to the wrasse. Alan's promised me a catch, but it's the mackerel I'm after, and I reckon there's a really good chance that with his knowledge of the sea that today I'll end up with something on the end of my line.
This is the spot.
Is it?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Oh.
Is it your bones? You can be telling
Years
your
and
bones?
years and years of fishing, and this spot is magic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just by this boy.
Yes.
You're going to teach me how to do it?
I'm
then?
going to have a little look. This is how it's done.
What's on the end there? Tell us how you
Right.
catch in mackerel.
Those, what do you call lures?
And what's the theory? You throw that deep because it's got a big weight on it, and then you pull it back up, and it resembles little fish.
Yeah, like a big fish, they call them,
Yeah.
Brit, etc.
But you're going to move it through the water,
Oh,
is what
yes.
I mean, rather than just let it lie there.
You jangle it up and down. You can go down to the bottom, and you try there, and you go up and down till you find the depths where the fish are.
Yeah.
So let's give it a whirl.
go. Oh, there we are. Got a bit of line caught up around there. Right, down on the bottom. Winding it up a little bit at a time, yeah? And then just jigging it up and down, see if there's anything there. And I should be able to feel if it hits. Can't feel anything there. Alan's told me to be patient. Says the mackerel won't take long to come calling.
Oh, I've got a fish.
You got one?
I've only got one, but it's a start.
They're such beautiful things, mackerels, aren't
There
they?
they are. Do you know a mackerel don't die of suffocation? It dies of a heart attack. It's stressed out all the time.
A bit like humans. And a bit like I'm going to be if I don't catch anything soon. Oh, I keep getting that wrong.
Big boy up, I've got one. Here they come again, gentlemen.
No, this isn't funny now.
Here we go.
I need Alan to share his fishing secrets with me. How are you
Another
doing
nice
it?
Silvery mackerel.
What's your special technique?
Oh, it's years of experience, Adrian. Years of experience.
Right, I'm just going to move over to Alan's side.
Yes, what we doing, Adrian?
I reckon they're all over here. I'm beginning to realise that patience is a virtue. But it's a virtue I'm sadly lacking. Must be down there somewhere.
How are you doing here, Adrian?
Not very successful. When did you first go fishing?
Oh, when I was a boy, about 8, I started fishing around the docks in Swansea.
Yeah? Do you remember the first one you caught?
Oh, little pouting. Little pouting. Oh, I couldn't wait to take it home and show my mum and dad. I was ever so pleased.
How big was it?
Oh, about an ounce plus.
Did you get your mum to cook it?
Oh, no.
And what's the biggest fish you ever caught, Alan?
Oh,
How big was it? Show us.
Gosh, like a one-armed fisherman. That was big. The biggest fish we've had along here is tops.
How big do they get?
Oh, they go up to 70 pounds.
Yeah, 70 pounds.
70 pounds.
That's like
There's a lot of top.
that's like a 8-year-old child, isn't it?
Yeah, they'd be about 5 foot long.
Yeah.
Mackerel must be having a day off today. They're generally in abundance. Try to return, I got a fish. I got a fish. Here we go, boys.
Here we got a fish.
I got a fish. Oops, it Daisy. Yep, here it comes. Whoop. Oh, it's a big one, this is. It's a whopper. Whoop, it's a whopper. Here he comes. Look at that. What a mackerel.
Oh, he's a huge one.
Look at the size on that one, boys.
You know what's happened there? He's got the whopper that was waiting to get onto my line. Come on, take a bite.
Keeps. Right. Now that was just off the bottom.
Yeah?
So we go down and see if I can find another.
So can you describe the joy of catching something?
It's magic. It's there now after all the years.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yes. You know, the fish, as I say, he's got a chance to get off. It's you against him.
He's certainly got a chance today, especially against me.
I'll be patient, Daisy. You'll get one by.
Patience?
They are about.
Patience? I'm trying to hold on to the fact that it is a virtue. Right, well, I'm going to give it one more final go. Here we go. Please catch something. I don't even know what the telltale tug feels like. It's pretty obvious, is it?
Oh, you'll know. You will
Yeah.
know.
I don't think I ever will know. That's the sad thing. No, I haven't got anything. I'll tell you what, I haven't caught anything, but you have, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
You've got a nice big one there. We've got a few in that bucket, haven't we? Here's the big one. I love the colouring on the back of mackerel. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous to look at and gorgeous to eat. Also known as brain food. I need a lot of them.
Hello, people of Britain. I'm not too sad at being caught, as long as I give Aid a nice, tasty meal. That was the fish talking. Oh, it's very tender, isn't it? You can tell already.
What do you think?
That's lovely, isn't it? I love a bit of mackerel.
Dead fresh.
Absolutely delicious, and all the better for catching it myself.
Yes, well, now that I'm a seasoned fisherman, I'm allowed to come home with some tall tales.
It must be nice to eat something you've just caught. I don't know that feeling, but life on the ocean wave, eh? Oh, that looks nice. That's good, because you can't tell how big they are in that, because you can't see the tails.
Right.
That's good fun, isn't it? I've never seen someone approach the dock that fast. Oh, my caravan joint's a bit squeaky this morning. I hope that's the caravan joint.
Now that I've got my land legs back, it's time to move on. My next stop is the market town of Neath, where I'm aiming to get to grips with a traditional Welsh dish that the locals either love or hate, but is still celebrated throughout this area as a regular culinary treat.
Hello there, you Paul.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, I'm Aid, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm looking for Welsh faggots.
Right.
I believe you still make them.
Yes.
Not many people do they?
Not many, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a complicated thing?
Not really. Not for me, anyway.
No?
No.
You're going to show me how it's done?
I will, certainly.
All right.
Come round and show them.
Now, what goes into a faggot?
Right. This is actually the pig's heart, lung, and the liver.
Yeah.
Right.
And these are the three main ingredients, aren't
Yeah. Take the lung off. That
they?
goes
A lot
in.
of people are probably quite squeamish about this kind of thing,
They
aren't
are,
they?
they are.
But they still like eating faggots, don't they?
It's all edible.
Yeah.
I like the food on it.
This is no place for the squeamish, is it? Everything gets chopped and mixed.
Mincing now.
Mincing?
Mincing.
Yeah.
Can't wait for you to do that.
What a fantastic machine.
I never thought plunging could be so much fun.
Feel like Sweeney Todd.
That is my nickname.
Is it?
Faggots were the staple diet of miners who needed hearty grub during their shifts underground. They were made by women who sold the surplus to boost the family income. At work, the miners ate the faggots cold, but traditionally they were also served hot with peas and gravy. Paul's got a secret ingredient to make his faggots different.
See if I can guess what it is. Oh, that is unusual.
It is.
You can smell no pepper, but I imagine there must be pepper.
Paul's giving nothing away.
I'll have to taste a bit now as well, just to make sure. Is it going to blow my head off a bit, that?
You try it.
Still none the wiser. Very nice, though. Let's make faggots.
Let's go. Right, this goes in here.
Yeah. Right.
Time for a few more not-so-secret ingredients and a final blend.
That's just like a meatball, really.
Yeah.
Fairly blooming tasty and as raw things, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
But what do they taste like cooked?
Quite nice. Just pour some gravy over the top. Look at that.
That's healthy, serving of gravy.
I know. I'm saving the rest for me.
This is how it's traditionally eaten, isn't it?
Yeah.
Peas and gravy.
Yeah.
It looks delicious.
is fantastic. I was going to say have a bit, but I think I'm going to have it all myself. That is lovely. As we were walking out of the butcher's shop, the slightly larger butcher in the background came up to me and said, "We never eat anyone else's faggots because we don't know what's in them. And we don't eat our own because we know what's in them." Obviously, he did it in a Welsh accent. Coming up next.
Am I right in presuming that most of you are ex-rugby players?
I get an audience with a ruck of singing scrummers.
Let's better be careful about what I say.
And from the back of my caravan, I'll be using some of the finest Welsh ingredients to cook up a traditional treat. I'm in South Wales on my travels around Great Britain, hunting for traditional food and continuing customs. I've been to some intriguing places. It's the Mumbles Lighthouse. I've made a lovespoon for her indoors.
I shall take that home to the wife and see if she still likes me.
I've failed miserably with a mackerel.
Right, well, I'm going to give it one more final go.
I've even managed to improve my knowledge of the Welsh language.
Do you know what the Welsh is for a microwave oven?
Poppity ping. It's true. Now I'm about to don my apron and cook an ancient Welsh dish from the back of my caravan for some local people happy to sing for their supper.
The thing I love about traditional music is that it comes from the very heart and soul of the community. It's about a sense of local pride. And here in South Wales, they've probably got more pride than anywhere else. And that makes for some tremendous music. And here to prove it is the Morriston Rugby Club Male Voice Choir. Absolutely tremendous. Am I right in presuming that most of you are ex-rugby players? Let's better be careful about what I say then. There's quite a big age range here. How was the one at the back there? 15? Now, there's a few candidates for the oldest. Oh, they're pointing over here. How old are you, sir?
91.
91? It's not bad. What was that song about? I mean, it was in Welsh, so obviously I didn't understand a word.
Neither did we. To a heart is worth more than all the treasures in the world.
Oh, that's a nice sentiment, isn't it? What do you get out of it, sir?
Well, enjoyment and singing.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it.
Yeah. And did you play rugby?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, can I guess? Can I guess second row? That's very cruel. I'm going to make some cawl now, so I hope I don't offend you with the recipe, because I know lots of people have their own. The cawl is basically a one-pot stew, and a lot of people make it with lamb these days, but the old way of making it is with bacon. So I'm going to just fry off some bacon there. Just browning that off. It's lovely here, isn't it? It's gorgeous. I don't know who lives there, but they must have a bob or two. Do you know that in Welsh, cawl means, well, it means soup or broth, but it also means mess about. There's a Welsh phrase, I don't know how to say it in Welsh, but it means to make a cawl of something. And to make a cawl of something is to make a mess of something. So it's a kind of mess. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like, really. That's what I call browned off, not cheesed off, browned off. And into that, I'm going to put my potato and my carrot. And straight away, On top of that, I'm going to put my stock.
You can use any flavoured stock. In ye olden days, they'd just add water and keep adding it to the pot to make the cowl last longer.
Now, in most households, sort of 100, 150 years ago, which had an open fire, you'd generally have a stock pot on the go all the time, and you'd put any old bits of bone in it and kind of, you know, bits of stalks of vegetables that you couldn't really eat, and you'd have a kind of stock going all the time. So this cowl was often made without any meat at all, because it would have the kind of flavour of bacon bones or a beef bone or something. I'm just going to bring that to the boil and simmer it for about 10 minutes.
I'm putting chopped cabbages and leeks in next, both ingredients grown locally. Then I'm adding thickening. No corn flour here, it's oatmeal mixed with water.
I'm going to mix it first in cold water, because if you try and add it to hot water, it can go a bit lumpy. Isn't very nice, is it? Okay, that's ready. We'll let that go for another 5 minutes, really. We should be ready.
Last but not least, a good dose of seasoning. Some salt,
Seasoning.
and I'm putting in black pepper, but
People used to use white pepper much more often, and white pepper is actually a bit hotter, and I think I might go back to it. Yes, I'm radical. Just ponce it up a bit with a bit of parsley.
wonder what my two
Now,
friends will think of this.
Cereal
Yes.
and Roy.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Diolch yn fawr.
Now,
These are hot.
they are hot, aren't they? Too hot?
No, it's okay.
Now hold it by the edge. It's like camping. Have a little taste of that. See if it's anything like any cowl you've ever tasted before.
Traditionally, cowl was eaten in wooden bowls with wooden spoons.
It's very nice.
Should have used my love spoon.
Yes, very
Now-
nice.
Best accolade I can give you is like my mother's.
Is it?
Yes, yes.
Well, I mean, the cowl is a hotly debated thing, isn't it, in Wales?
It is, because I was talking earlier, and there's so many different recipes. You can get in quite heated arguments, which is the best recipe, you know, and they're all different.
Yeah.
My grandmother had a paraffin stove, none of these modern stuff.
Yeah.
And the pot was on the paraffin stove for ages.
But you can make a cowl one day and it would last 2 or 3 days, wouldn't it?
That's right,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
And you could just keep adding different ingredients,
Yes, I do.
you know, to kind of liven it up, I suppose.
And whatever vegetables were in season at the time.
Yeah.
It's
I heard another thing they used to do is they used to separate the kind of that from the broth. So you'd have the broth separately, and then you'd have the
But
vegetables.
that would have been put on a plate with ham or bacon.
Yeah.
That would be, and then eaten separately, and this would be eaten as a consomme then.
Yeah.
Oh, these.
Yeah. Well, can I just say, Corategi?
Oh, diolch yn fawr iawn. Diolch yn fawr. You can do all speakers here, so...
I'm afraid it's the only Welsh I know.
This is
Yeah?
very,
Oh,
very,
thank you very much.
This is very, very nice. It is.
tasty, yes.
Oh, good.
We don't want to put it down, really,
Well,
because...
finish that and we'll have another song.
If you'd like to have a go at cooking cowl the traditional way, this is how I did it. I've used bacon in this recipe, but you can use any meat on or off the bone. Just make sure it's Welsh. At this stage, add any root vegetables you have handy, or in season. They need time to cook through. Cowl's best started the day before, so any fat can be skimmed off, and the flavours have time to develop. It's good to throw in some greens for flavour and colour. This is Wales, so I've got cabbage and leeks. The mix needs to be thickened, and you can use corn flour, but in the past they used oatmeal. After seasoning, spruce it up with some parsley. Makes it look posh. You can find details of what you've seen in today's show online at itv.com/food. There you go, a quick and easy traditional Welsh meal, cowl. Time now for my rugby players to fill their lungs.
Well, that's it from South Wales. What have they got here? Well, you know, they've got faggots and cockles and laverbread, but most of all, they've got emotion. I really love that. See you next time.